Welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast in which we analyze, we scrutinize, and we celebrate Solo, a Star Wars story, one speedy minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And that would make me Joshua Flanagan of the comic book... I can't say it. Comic book podcast, ifanboy.com. Which,
welcome back, Josh.
Will go on forever.
You know, on a personal note,
Hopefully.
I want to thank you because you were kind of you kind of helped shepherd me into podcasting 10,000 years ago during the Ink Panther days. I remember you giving me advice and kind of talking me through it. So,
There you go.
we might not be here if that had not happened. So
Look what you
thank
have
Josh.
brought.
Yes.
I mean, if
What
nothing
you've done
else,
to us.
I think if nothing else, it gives your ego that slight boost that you need to feel like you've done something that someone else likes. And as long as you keep that little steady stream going, I don't know how you'd quit.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. It's fun. It's super fun.
You know
to
what
talk
else
to
is
your
super
friends.
fun? Yes. You know what else is super fun? Minute number 9 of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Is it?
Save it.
It was.
Minute number 9 starts off with Han Speeder bumping and sparking along horizontally.
Bumping and sparking.
And it ends a minute later with Han Speeder bumping and sparking along diagonally.
Bumping and sparking.
Crazy.
Yes. The more extended speeder chase. Car chase scene.
Mhm.
Which, I gotta say, normally, not a fan of car chases for the most part. But you give me make it speeders? All right, I'm on board.
Is there a car chase? Like a movie car, like Bullet or The French Connection or
Your Fasts and your Furiouses.
any of the various...
I've never seen a Fast or a Furious.
Well, we all watch all those James Bond movies, the car chases.
That's true,
Yeah.
yeah. I tend to tune out during those. Unless, if the car's going, if it does a loop-de-loop and there's a slide whistle, then I'm
Sure.
in. But
Yeah, that makes sense. What about like Dukes of Hazzard or the Blues Brothers?
I used to love
Cannonball
Dukes of
Run?
Hazzard when I was a kid.
I feel like,
but
like a 70s car chase kind of thing would be
Yeah.
your speed.
I gotta
Love
go back
Dukes of
maybe and
Hazzard.
watch more
Hate
70s.
the Blues Brothers.
Hmm.
I don't like that style of comedy that was like, let's just have a bunch of stuff crazies that blow up and smash into each other, and that's the finale of a comedy. Like
Right.
I'm like, where's the
That's-
jokes in this? But anyway,
That's some cocaine.
we're not
like,
here to badmouth the
humor.
Blues Brothers, but to bury them.
Friends, Roman.
Shakespeare. That's where
There we go.
we've full circle.
We've got back for the first. We were talking about Gen
Yeah.
X, then we were boomers, and now we're just all the way
We're gonna-
back to Shakespeare.
We're gonna be doing the myth of the cave soon enough.
Well, speaking of throwbacks, we get a Chips officer here, a Coronet Highway Patrol. We see them jump into the chase and
That is
almost
that is
immediately get out of the chase. I was surprised about that. It's within
Actually-
this minute that the he already crashes into something or whatever, and
Or
I really
she.
thought that they were or
we
she.
hear his voice. It sounds kind of masculine to me. You're right, but I don't know. Could be.
I actually literally wrote the note here, and I had forgotten about it till I just looked that they should have kept adding vehicles and gone full Blues Brothers.
I really felt like they should. I really felt like they were going to go in that direction, or at least
I think that's what's fun about the speeder bike, which is another great design, by the way. It looks like a 2000 AD Judge Dredd kind of bike thing, but again, very industrial. It's like they added that to be like, we're gonna do this, and then it crashed. Like, nah, we're not. You know, like it was like pull you one way and then the other.
Yeah.
undermine your expectations.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it does. Remember, according to my notes, this is the synthesis of both creative forces involved. Everybody had their hands in this sequence.
Yeah.
It was mainly a Lord and Miller thing. The genesis of it was, but then Ron Howard put his own spin on it. So,
I mean, it also
Spinning's
is
a good
very
trick.
that question, like, is it very Star Wars? Yes. Han Solo being chased and driving crazy through things is definitely a Star Wars thing. It seems like the most appropriate thing. This should have been the first action piece. So that's just a correct choice. Like that's his thing. Like, what do we know about him? He drives things away from other things
yeah, really.
at high speeds.
Han Solo, I drive things away from other things.
Right.
At high speed.
If the fine print on the business card at high speed. I've talked about my Star Wars business cards, right? That I got them at a convention in the 70s. Like my parents got me a stack of like, cause I was anything Star Wars, and they got me a stack. It was like literally Star Wars business cards, and it was like it was like business cards for like Jawas, and it was like I got to find some of them. It was like.
Is this an authorized product?
Every time.
No, not authorized at all. It had like, it had like a little slogan for like what they, or like a description of what they do and maybe a little slogan and where they were from.
Space junk. It's what we do.
Yeah, basically that kind of a thing. But there was a whole like stack of them. Anyway, I gotta look for those. I doubt I still have, if I have any of them, I have like one or two that survived. But I gotta look for those because there was totally like a convention product from the 70s. But the do. I
want to call attention to the fact that the Chips motorcycle we see is the fastest vehicle we've seen so far. It can clock in an amazing 248 miles per hour.
Wow.
Or 400 kilometers per hour.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting because it is very, very not aerodynamic, and they are dealing with an atmosphere, so that is a thing.
Right. But it just doesn't have a lot of bulk, right? It's just basically like sitting on a rocket.
Sure.
Sitting on an engine.
Yeah.
I think it crashed, and I noticed then is it a stormtrooper?
Yeah.
Or is it a space cop?
It's a variation on the Stormtrooper, right? Stormtrooper Variations. Everybody's got that album.
Yeah. They were okay.
Well, it's interesting because we would have been between. We're in this kind of very little documented era because we're between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars, so we don't quite we don't know exactly what regular stormtroopers look like.
I'm calling it anything that makes me think of a stormtrooper is a stormtrooper, as far as I'm concerned, from my point of view.
Problem is, everything makes me think of stormtroopers.
Yeah,
I guess you have to specify: is this is this an Imperial stormtrooper or is this a First Order stormtrooper?
Do they all look like Tamara Morrison? That's the question.
Is that an Imperial stormtrooper or is that a Sears stormtrooper?
But he's fine. He wasn't harmed.
Yeah, we get that G.I. Joe A-Team kind of shot of like don't worry, he's all right. Like he has his parachute or he gets up like from the explosion of his Jeep.
I don't want that. I want Jedi like
Right. And they never saw him again.
I want to see him writhing in agony because he has a broken leg. Like I want to see him. Like for 10 minutes, for like 2 minutes. That's like that Family Guy joke. Like,
or the Austin Powers Will Ferrell joke.
Right,
I'm okay. I'm actually quite badly burned, but
exactly.
I think I'm gonna make it.
Or maybe at the end of the movie, this guy shows up getting his revenge on Han, and he's like, "Who are you again?" And he's like, "You crashed me into the motors. Remember, I was on my motorcycle." He's like, "I don't know."
I guess that's what like you want to be. Again, it's like it's like an encapsulation of Greedo shooting first right here. You don't want Han Solo to be essentially a cop killer in the first time you meet him.
Fair,
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
So it's like, well, we want to be on his side and not politics aside. Like just
he could have had Moloch kill the stormtrooper.
Yeah. Well, that's another note. It's like Moloch is doing way more damage here. To he's just driving over, things in the street, pylons, whatever else.
I had a note is that I noticed the idea that the Chase E or the Chased, he's weaving through everything as you go through. He's going around all the little bits in the street, and then the Chaser or the Moloch is just plowing over everything after him.
Yeah,
which I thought was a nice little sort of detail. That they put in. Which also ties into the fact that like some of the stuff that he does with the Millennium Falcon, like in Empire when he's flying through everything, it's very close. It's very so he's got that sort of precision flying thing going down.
Yeah,
I hope they thought of that.
Much better pilot than Anakin Skywalker, I'd say. But
really,
in terms of what we see,
racing.
No, this isn't pod racing. Oh, is it? I don't know. Could be.
It's Wizard.
Close. It is definitely Wizard.
It's absolutely Wizard.
That's a good question, though. I wonder who'd win in a. You don't think Anakin's force powers would make him?
Oh no, he wins. He wins within the Star Wars canon.
Who? Yeah. Anakin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then again, the first time those two ever met up,
although
Han Solo gets the point.
I'm betting heavily on Sebulba. So
on who?
Sebulba. You tricked me into doing it.
Do you do that like regularly still, or is
no?
Like is it hard to fit it in?
I think that's the first time I've done it in like a year.
Deep cut.
But my point is the cop should have been pulling over Moloch because he's the one who's trashing stuff. Granted, like you go
Society's
after.
not about what you did; it's about who you are, and
I
he's got
guess.
clout.
I guess. Does he have a little like Imperial Stormtrooper benefit society, whatever sticker like in his windshield?
That's a Long Island thing.
There you go.
Well, isn't it a
My
rule
aunt, who
that
was a cop in Long Island, gave me one of those ones. I never got a chance to use it. I was like,
Yeah.
I know her.
isn't it the rule that like as long as the person in the front is going the fastest, they have to get the ticket? Like,
But then there's extra damage being done here.
I'm
you know
pretty
what I mean?
sure you're not allowed to just chase somebody. Like, he was going faster.
right.
But if you stop the second guy, also that speeder bike's not going to be able to pull over Moloch, even if he wanted to. What's he going to?
But I don't know. He's not be able to pull over anybody. That's what we see. But he should be trying to pull over Moloch.
It's a truck speeder.
Right.
He lasted moments.
What he should just be doing is tailing them and calling in reinforcements, because you're not going to be able to do anything on that speeder bike.
Right. Or just, go about his business, pretend he didn't see anything.
Yeah. Well, you know what we did see? We also see you see 2 L1 droids they pass by.
Yeah.
And those droids, of course, as everyone knows, they are disassembling a hydro transfer conduit to clear a minnow blockage.
Minnow?
A minnow blockage.
Like
just regular
fish?
garden variety earth fish.
Well,
Or minnow, like
they're an invasive species
are there
on Corellia.
little
Earthfish got loose, and they're in fact no.
or is it minnow like Minnao? It's like,
Is it
like
a-
Nathan
is it-
Hamill stuck in the tube.
Is it a group of tiny little boats who are on a 3-hour tour?
Yeah, there you go.
3-hour tour?
Oh.
We did it. 66.
Well, we learned in the visual dictionary that fishing is indeed a big part
Hmm.
of the Corellian economy there.
I guess. Oh, there's that eel. There's that
Moloch's
eel.
cousin.
There you go. For people watching the YouTube channel, you can see that. So yes, it is full of minnows. I'm sorry, my hydro tube is full of minnows. It's like a
My
Badly
hovercraft is
translated.
full of eels.
That's my aim away message.
Actually, the line "My hovercraft is full of
Oh, yeah.
eels" from Monty Python, just so we're really
Right.
has never fit as well in a movie as it would in this one.
Well, so there was the eel scene.
the eel scene. You remember it was so cool back then in the 60s. There was a total eel scene, man.
Yeah, everybody was in on the eel scene. There was a part. So in the, I guess is it before they get in the car or after? Let's see. Oh no, I guess it's after this. Okay, so we'll save it. I'm adding yet another. You guys, Friday is going to be big. I keep bumping things to my notes from Friday.
Biggs.
It's gonna be a balls out extravaganza.
Yeah, so make sure you show up for Friday, everybody.
Freak Out Friday.
Just look at that severed head.
Instead, let me tell you that
Why did you do this, Han?
I got a question.
Yes.
I got
you have
a question.
Yes. About Friday?
Why is there a moisture evaporator like right next to a big body of water?
Oh, someone wasn't paying attention.
Well, where else would you put it? Wouldn't that get the most vapor then? Wouldn't it fill up instantly?
I don't believe you need it if you have the water.
Yeah, like although
Maybe it's a de-evaporator.
exactly, it's like a dehumidifier basically.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which a moisture evaporator is the same idea, where it's sucking in
Sure.
the moisture from the atmosphere, but instead of harvesting it, here it's just like kind of keeping the things dry.
maybe it's pulling
buy it.
moisture out of the air to cleanse and purify it, because otherwise it's terrible and toxic, and then
Oh,
they end
that
up
could
with a pure sort of water thing that they have industrial uses for.
Or they're
Alright.
exporting it also.
You can export that. You can export that to Tatooine to make a killing.
There you go. All right, these are all valid answers to my question. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's what
Like
we do.
it. You're opening up a discussion. Well, we
also
get to
get-
see. Oh, go ahead.
No, all you. I
well,
had a
we get
question.
to
It was answered. I'm satisfied. Go ahead.
Another callback to the original trilogy. We get to hear Han Solo say, "Watch this."
That
right
was my
before
note.
something. Right before we were two minds with one head
I-
between us.
My note on this bit is that I've decided I like how Han's bravado doesn't seem to be based at all on success. Like, he has not earned it.
Right.
He drove well for a while, but it doesn't really matter if you get your ship stuck between some buildings. Like, but that's all he's got is his bravado. He hasn't earned it, even to himself.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he would really be able to beat Anakin.
You're right.
Wait,
you're
this
based on that.
Han Solo or eventual Han Solo?
Any Han Solo.
Oh, come on.
Han Solo at his peak. Anakin at his peak. Han Solo at his peak.
So
What's
you're saying
Anakin's
it's
peak?
a fluke?
Anakin's peak is when he was like 8. Right?
See, that's a good
Gets the
point.
job
Are
done.
you saying it's a fluke when he shot Darth Vader outside of the trench run, or is it like a sucker punch? Because he won that confrontation.
Right.
Yes, that was one he won. I'm not
One he
saying
won,
he's a
but-
bad pilot, but I'm just saying we
just
see
saying.
him. The most
The
time
score
we
is
see Han Solo, he's
1-0
in
Han.
trouble. We like to see Han Solo in trouble. How's he going to get out of this one? His ship
He
is
makes
breaking
bad
down.
decisions.
He can't get to hyperspace. That's what we like about Han Solo.
He's
Anakin's like
bad.
James Bond. He's like Superman. You know he's going to win. He has superpowers.
He's
But we
bad
like
at
Han
risk
Solo
management.
because he's
Yeah.
yes.
Like he always
Yes.
settles first in Yakutsk or whatever.
Yeah, Kirk's.
Or
He has not earned his ego, but I think we also know because of that it's a put on, which makes him charming and makes us like him human or whatever he is.
Yeah.
What are humans called? Are they called humans?
They call them.
In Star
So far, they've
Wars?
only called them scrum rats. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's what they call all humans or just these kids.
But this must have come up in something. I feel like it's definitely human
they
in the
do
books.
say human at some point, right?
Well, he says
He's
here,
a-
doesn't Han call Jabba a real human
Oh yeah,
being?
so Jabba's a human.
You're a wonderful human being.
Jabba's the only human.
But humans exist. I always thought that was sarcasm, but maybe
Maybe.
Yeah.
Surely
Surely they must be dead by now.
Again, this ties into my if Star Wars is Dune, not that it was influenced by, but we get I know it's vice versa. Never mind. Vice versa is Dune, the movie where Fred Savage
Move along.
swaps bodies with. That's Dune.
It's been
Was-
Dune.
Um,
So we also get Moloch. So Han Solo and Han and Qi'ra go diagonally
who?
into that little alleyway there, little
Mhm.
slot, and then Moloch skids to a stop right in front of the camera and goes "Poodah."
this. Well, I think I got to
he's
censor.
definitely-
I got to bleep what you just said. I think, depending
he's
on the audience.
definitely speaking Huttese, right? That's we
Is
is that
he?
established? It sounds just like it.
It sounds like it.
Puta
Yeah.
That's a Huttese expletive, correct?
I feel like they're. I feel
or-
like the sequel era
Or it's
generally.
Spanish, I guess.
Yeah,
Sequel
that's the
era has a
problem.
general kind of alien, deep voice, kind of voice that they use for
Mhm.
for a lot of aliens.
So that being said, your point earlier about the subtitles would be more appropriate because you're asking to give it something because most of it doesn't. It's so indistinguishable from itself. Or from
I accept
others,
your
so.
apology.
I'm analyzing it. I have not proffered terms.
Well, I think no matter what he's saying, this should be the point where he takes off his hat and throws it on the ground.
100%. But he'd
Yeah.
die because he's a fish person.
Right.
Oh, that
he
would've
takes off
been
his
it.
helmet, throws it on the ground. He's like, I am burning to death. Except it's all subtitled.
Would people have known that they would have said, why did you just take off his helmet? They would have known he was going for like a skipper-esque Minnows. Yeah.
Well, no, because then there would have been either a Wikipedia entry or a some kind of short story or comic book story about his species is so invested in their when they lose
Chasing.
a hunt they self-sacrifice because
Yeah.
I
Keep
believe
going.
that puta is whatever that language for Hogan.
right. Good. That's how it
Linked
translates.
it up.
Um,
Well, do we have
This is
anything?
the oldest any of the references have skewed on the shows in a while, right? Like
a little
Didn't we
bit.
bring up Joe E. Brown recently?
We do. We bring him up a lot. Ever since we went to his grave, the show has been haunted by Joey
The
Brown.
ghost of vaudeville star Joe E. Brown. Or is it Joe E. Ross? Anyway, well, let's not start that again.
Brown. It's not Joey Tata. He's still alive? Could be.
Josh, can you confirm?
I don't know. I don't know any of these names that we're talking about now.
Isn't he the diner owner on Beverly Hills 90210?
Joey Tata.
Oh,
Yes.
Joey Tata.
As of this recording,
Wow.
still alive, but fingers crossed. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
my
But
gosh.
he's 85, so
You
I
boy.
mean he's getting there. Could be. Let's hope for a long and
He could have another decade easy.
fulfilling rest of your life, Joey Tata.
He's had decades off to relax.
If he does pass, though, we will be visiting his grave.
Sure.
We got a collection to maintain.
As one does.
Well, on that note, let's wrap up this show. And Josh, what podcasting have you been up to lately?
We do our iFanboy podcast every Sunday. There's a new episode that talks about the week's comics. Not mostly. It's the issues that come out, your Marvels and DCs and Images and Dark Horses and those kind of things. We've been doing it for 1,000 years. Actually, we've been doing it for what year is it? 16 years. We don't miss shows anymore. We do the thing. We have our Talksplodes, which are sort of creator interview podcasts, and our Media Splodes, which are we talk about stuff that isn't comics for an hour. That's patron stuff right there. It's not only for the patrons, but they unlocked it, so we do it. And Booksplodes, which are every other month, where we talk about some collected edition outside of sort of the weekly stuff. And I love it. It's having that conversation. It's the best hour of my week. Having to read comics for 8 hours before that is not the best hour of my week, but the conversation part is. Yeah.
If people dig through your archives, do you still have that video segment you did where you went to my old New York apartment? And
absolutely.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
So
we just
people wanna
uploaded.
check that out.
We went and uploaded all of our video shows. We did like full length video shows, and then for a little while we were doing daily. We call them minis. We're still uploading the minis, which are woefully out of date. It's like, these are the new comics that came out on August 15th, 2008. It's like, no one needs to know that.
Well,
But,
I'm not caught up. So I haven't bought comics
Yeah.
in like 20 years. So there you
Yeah,
go.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
we still get letters.
Wait, don't tell me.
And what's key, though, is that I never, ever, ever, never, ever go and look at those comments.
Oh, of course.
That
Ever.
is key. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I won't do it. But yeah, I'm still doing it. I don't plan to stop.
Well, if you've listened to everything Josh has released, good on you. But you can also listen to shows that Pete and I are doing on the side. As we've mentioned, I'm doing Godfather Minute with my brother, where we go through the Godfather movies 1 minute at a time. You can find that wherever you get podcasts. And Pete, you are doing ABCDTOS. What episodes have dropped lately people can check out?
We're just wrapping up the S's and starting the T's.
Starting the T.
So we did Space Seed, we did Spectre of the Gun, and we're about to get into some T. The Taste of Armageddon is the first T. So
Khan was
yeah, we
Space
did. We
Seed,
talked a
right?
lot about Khan. We
Nice.
did not too long ago. We did Abraham Lincoln. Speaking of, you guys were talking about Lincoln before. We did.
My favorite episode.
Yeah,
the Curtain Sauvage.
yeah.
You'll rarely find two people outside of academia who are so prepared to talk about Abraham Lincoln as Alex and I.
Great. I'll have neither of you on the show because it happened a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, anyway, you can go check that out. Go listen to that. And then join us here tomorrow for the Big Friday episode of Star Wars Minute.
Solo, a Star Wars